Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is Carrot Cake Cupcakes. Well, I hear you guys asking for more desserts on the channel, so today we're whipping up a sweet treat. It's Carrot Cake Cupcakes with cream cheese frosting and candied pecans. Let's jump right in. So before we start mixing up our batter, just want to make sure we have all of our ingredients ready to go, all of our mise en place. So we're going to start by peeling 8 ounces or half pound of carrots, and then we're going to grate these up super fine with the box grater, chop them down. We want the flavor and texture in there, but not so much texture that you've got long stringy bits of carrot. So we're going to run these through the box grater on that finer setting. So then we're just going to give this a rough chop to knock down any of those really long strands. Next, we're going to combine all of our dry ingredients so they're ready to go in all together. Starting with a cup and a half of flour. I'm going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of hickory smoked salt. We've got 3/4 teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. So we'll just whisk this to get it all mixed in there really well. And that'll be ready to go into our batter when we're ready for it. So now we're going to go over to the bowl of our stand mixer. We're going to come in first with our fat. And today we're using 3/4 cup of avocado oil. Any neutral flavored oil will work. And then we've got our sugars. So we're going to divide up the sugars today. We've got our white sugar, which is really common in cake. Nice for delicate stuff. 1/3 cup there. Then we're going to split up the rest between some brown sugar and some smoked maple turbinado sugar. Both have a higher molasses content. Both will add extra density, extra flavor, and even extra structure. And that's really great when we're doing a carrot cake. We want a nice, dense, rich cake. So we're going to get in here with the whisk attachment over high speed and just whip this up. So our mixer's been going for about a minute now. That sugar's going to start to smooth out a little bit. Don't worry about that a lot. We've got turbinado, which is coarse, but it also lightens up in color. We drop this down to medium speed and start adding our eggs one at a time. And then once you've seen that egg disappear into the batter, you can add the next one. And now instead of adding vanilla extract today, we're going to do a little bit of whiskey. Now this is a sweet whiskey. Serves a lot of the same purposes as adding vanilla, so you can go either way. So now we're ready to start incorporating our dries. And we're going to do that while it mixes at a low speed. Just kind of wait for those dries to get incorporated and then add a little bit more. You can kind of do this in like thirds, 1/3 at a time. Starting to smell all those warming spices now. That's cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. We don't want to overwork this, which is why we're going to stay at a fairly low speed here. And then as soon as all of that's incorporated, I'm going to shut it off and we're going to scrape the bowl. And I said we don't want to overwork this, and that's just because of that gluten content. The longer you mix this, the tougher the dough gets, and we're making cake, so we don't want tough dough. So now that all of that's in there, we're going to add our carrots. Just briefly, and then we can finish that by hand. So we'll just fold this and make sure that we've got all those carrots dispersed evenly, no pockets without carrots. And then this is ready to go into our cupcake tins. All right, so we've got our cupcake or muffin tins set up with some papers. Just gonna fill these ideally about 3/4 of the way full. And this recipe should get you right in that 1 dozen range. So those are settled in. Let's get them on the grill. Today we're going to be baking on the Yoder Smoker's YS640S pellet grill. We're running it at 375 degrees and we've got pecan pellets loaded up in the hopper. So we're going to slide these in and set a timer for 20 minutes. Now while the cupcakes are baking, we're going to whip up some candy pecans. So we're starting with a warm skillet, warm dry skillet. We're going to add some pecan halves to. If you've got a dozen cupcakes, you probably want to put like, I don't know, 18 of these in here because you're going to eat some of them inevitably. Just give these a brief toast, and while we're doing that, we're going to whip up the candy mixture. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of that same smoked turbinado sugar that went into the cupcakes. Also add a tablespoon of maple syrup. I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon of whiskey. And a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked salt. Just give that a quick little mix here. And then this is going to go over the pecans in the skillet. We're going to keep these pecans moving. We want to make sure that we don't scorch them. We can turn down the heat just a little bit. And then we'll come over the top with our candy mixture. And that reduces right down to coat all of those pecans. And once it's all syrupy, we just dump it out onto a parchment-lined pan real quick. Spread them out and let them cool. They'll harden up just a little bit, and you've got candied pecans. All right, 20 minutes is up, so we're gonna check on the cupcakes. We're using the toothpick method today. We want a toothpick inserted into the center to come out clean, and we're there. Now the cupcakes are cooling, and while they're cooling, we're gonna put together our cream cheese frosting. So we're gonna start by combining some softened cream cheese, 8 ounces, with 6 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. I'm gonna add to that a couple tablespoons of maple syrup and a tablespoon of whiskey. Again, kind of taking the place of the vanilla here. So back with the whisk attachment, and we're just gonna whisk these until they all start to come together and cream up. So you can see how that's kind of starting to whip up now. We're gonna add a little bit of our powdered sugar, and then we're gonna mix over a lower speed. Yeah, when it starts flying out, you're going too fast. And I've got 3 cups of powdered sugar ready to go. We'll probably use it all, but we'll really just kind of do this eyeing it for the consistency that we like in the end. All right, getting that last little bit of powdered sugar in there. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the sides here, and then we'll give this just one more mix just to make sure everything's smooth and incorporated. So that's looking really nice. Got some nice structure to it, nice and smooth, calling that good. So we're just gonna load up our cream cheese here into a piping bag. All right, the cupcakes are cooled down, the frosting's ready to go. Let's bring it all together. So we'll just do a good bit of frosting here on top, swirled, and then we'll top these off with our candied pecans. Pop one of those guys on top of each one of these. All right, I'm giving it the taste test. Oh, love me some cream cheese frosting. That is delicious. The carrot cake is moist, super tender, got those great warming spices to it. That's pretty much all we need out of a carrot cake in a cupcake form. And then you've got these little pecans. They're salty and they're sweet, but that salt is really what sets it off on top of these cupcakes. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.